What is going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of the 5-1 Formation podcast. You're listening to the Champions League segment. My name is Alex Karabatz. I'll be your host for today. I'm joined by George Georgiousis, Tommy Ciebos, Antonio Canales, and Anthony Paradiso. Say what's up, boys.
What's good?
Happening?
What's going on?
So we got a full squad today for this Champions League segment. So let's get right to it. It might be a bit of a long one. So Group A. So we're going to go through the groups here, give our thoughts and predictions, and see who's going to end up top two in our lists for each one. So for Group A, we have Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, Red Bull Salzburg, and Lokomotiv Moscow. So Tommy, we're going to start with you, and we're going to head down the list. Tommy, go for it.
Yeah. So starting off, looking like it's be a pretty easy group for Bayern Atletico. No diss towards Salzburg or Lokomotiv, but not much to say. I think the first team on that in that group that's going to win is Bayern Munich. Then second is going to be Atletico. Third's going to be Salzburg. Fourth, Lokomotiv. It's going to be a dominating group for Bayern. Then Atletico second.
Yeah, I think Bayern's going to go undefeated in this one.
Yep.
Atletico Madrid might pull out a tie out of one of those two games, but yeah, I think it's going to be a repeat of last year in the group stage in terms of Bayern Munich. They're going to go undefeated.
Yeah,
no questions there.
I definitely agree. I think that even though right now Bayern, like that big loss to Hoffenheim, you're kind of wondering, are they the same team or are they still dominant? I think this 2-week break is going to give them enough time to kind of recharge after all the games that they were playing late into this season. And I think they're going to come back in their dominant form, and they're going to really, I really believe that, like you said, they're going to be undefeated in that group as well.
Yeah, we saw Suarez last year kind of struggle against Bayern Munich, even though he got that one crazy goal against Boateng. But I think when Atletico play against Bayern Munich, he's not going to help them. He's not going to get it done.
George, you have any comments?
I think it's every year Bayern don't have a problem with the group stages. So for them, it's just going to be another year, another Champions League run. They always seem to do very well in the Champions League, and expect goals from Lewandowski and co. That's pretty much it.
Anthony?
No, I have nothing else to add. I mean, they're definitely contenders again this year, so look for them to go far again, potentially the final again once more.
And I think just to kind of add to that group before we leave it, I think even with the big loss to Thomas Partey for Atletico Madrid, they added Lucas Torreira as his replacement, and I think he can get the job done in the midfield. So I think we're confident enough to say Bayern first, Atletico second in that group, and we can move forward. Does that go with you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's move on to Group B. This one's a bit of a shakeup. So we have Mönchengladbach, we have Inter Milan, Real Madrid, and Shakhtar Donetsk. So with this one, let's start off with Antonio.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real big toss-up between Real Madrid and Inter Milan for first place, but I do have Real Madrid going first overall. I think Zinedine Zidane is going to get it done, even though they've been lacking of the goal scoring lately. But I think once they get Hazard as a front reinforcement, they're going to have no problems. But it's a tough group with Inter Milan there. Mönchengladbach is a strong side, and don't count out Shakhtar Donetsk either. This could be considered the group of death, if not one of the group of deaths.
Anthony?
I agree. I personally think it is the group of death. I think Real Madrid, Inter Milan are going to go 1-2, but like Antonio said, it's going to be really very tough going against Mönchengladbach and Shakhtar as well. They're no pushover of a team, so they're going to have to be on their A game for sure and make sure they get it done on both ends, because especially with Inter, they've been very fragile on the back end as well, even though they're able to score, but you still got to solidify that back end. So it's going to be very exciting to watch. I'm very down.
Go for it, Alex.
Sorry. I was just going to say for Inter's part, because they had a really tough campaign last season and not making it past the group stages for Champions League. I strongly believe they'll be able to finally push through and finish second in this group. And I really believe that the X factor to this is going to be Ashraf Hakimi. I think he's going to provide a lot of energy to that squad and on that right flank. And his connection with Romelu Lukaku is just it's too much to handle at this point. And I think they're going to squeeze past Mönchengladbach for that second spot, and they're going to go through to the round of 16.
Yeah, and they're out for blood too, right? They lost in Europa
Yeah.
last year too, so they definitely have a point to prove.
And don't forget, Inter Milan haven't made it past the group stages for 2 straight seasons, eh? So when it comes to Champions League, I don't put them up high. I think it's going to be really close for second for Mönchengladbach because they're not a pushover team like you guys said. So my bold prediction is Real Madrid first, and Mönchengladbach second, and Inter Milan third.
Okay. George?
My heart says Inter. I want Inter to finish first because I'm a big fan of Antonio Conte and what he's been doing at Inter also. The only problem I see with that is, like Anthony said, is the back line is very fragile. And with the current COVID cases that a lot of players from Inter Milan that have been getting, who knows if they're going to recover in time for the game, which I believe is on October 21st. So it's all a matter of time and organization for Inter Milan. But even Real Madrid too, like you said, they haven't had the strongest start of the season, so it's a bit of a toss-up for me. So I'm going to go with Inter first, Real second.
Wow. Okay. That's a nice bold prediction right there. Okay, I think it's safe to say we can move on from this.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's go to Group C. We have FC Porto, Manchester City, Marseille, and Olympiacos. I'm going to start with this one. I think Manchester City now with the acquisition of Ruben Diaz, that partnership with him and Laporte should solidify that back line. I know that the left back position's been struggling, and it's been very known to everybody about that Mendy hasn't been the best right now for us. But I really believe that in this group specifically, I think they can finish first with confidence as well, not just by slipping past either Marseille. I really believe that they're gonna finish strong in the group stage, and I'll say that because FC Porto's loss of Alex Telles, he was an integral part in their squad and a very important player for their team. I think that Marseille can grab that second spot because of that. Ant, go for it.
Are you sure? Is Raheem Sterling going to miss another open sitter against a French team again?
I hope not, man. I hope not.
Oh, I agree, man. I hope they're all in their game because, especially because Pep is kind of under fire now too, considering what happened last year. He has to get it done, so there's no question they're going to finish first. My question is, what's going to happen afterwards? It is a tough group. There's a lot of solid teams in this group. Marseille is no joke when they're on it. They haven't been really on it so far this year. FC Porto is very, very solid. They're not a pushover team either. And Olympiacos is a bitch to play against as well. So I'm very excited for this group and see how it turns out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stick on the Marseille subject by saying that if this group of players stays concentrated, because they have the talent to do so, they could well end up first in this group. They could end up top of the group. But they just need to stay focused throughout these 6 games because they got a solid group of players under Villas-Boas as well. They could get it done. But we've seen the slip-ups lately in Liga. Yeah. Although they won against PSG, they've had some slip-up against lower table teams. And I think that's just because of a lack of concentration. Villas-Boas gets these guys under control. He sets the correct game plans against teams like Manchester City, Olympiacos, and Porto. They could get the wins to end up top of the group. Manchester City needs to be careful with this group. It's very touchy.
Yeah. City can't take Marseille, Porto, or Olympiacos lightly. No chance, especially like Anthony said, Olympiacos. They've shown. I know they haven't gotten past the group stages for many seasons now, but they've been always. It's a bitch to play against them. They show up in Champions League. They're tough in the back end. Their counterattack is lethal. But I have City finishing first, Marseille second, Olympiacos third, and Porto fourth. My prediction for that group.
George?
I'm gonna say City first and Marseille second. City, obviously, just like Bayern Munich, they do very well in the group stages. Even if you think, Alex, personally, that their back line is a little shaky, Pep and City are going to get through it. I have no doubt in my mind. A solution to that would be also maybe to play three in the back. Now that you have these new acquisitions with new center backs, and if you don't feel comfortable with playing Mendy on the left, to kind of bolster up his positioning, played with three in the back with Ake, Ruben, and Laporte. Maybe that could do good for them because we all know that they're a team that do very, very well going forward. It's just the back line has been questionable, like you said. And yeah, for Marseille, like Antonio said too, I think they actually have a pretty decent squad. You know, like with the likes of Thauvin, Mandanda, and Dimitri Payet and co. I think they can actually do something and get through the next round.
Well said. Well said. Let's move on from that. So Group D, we have Ajax, Atalanta. This one, I don't know who wants to pronounce this one. I'm not
Midtjylland.
Midtjylland. That was definitely not the way to say it. And then Liverpool. So Tom, you could start with this one.
Okay, for this group, it's actually a pretty sick group apart from Midtjylland. That's how you say it, Alex. I have it's a toss up.
That's a Danish player. That
it's a toss up for first, to be honest, because we saw Liverpool's form this season. They've been shaky. They haven't been that dominant Liverpool team that they've been the past season. And Atalanta, you know how they are in Champions League. Last season was their first time, and they came out of the gates running, scoring goals like it was nobody's business. So I have Atalanta finishing first, Liverpool second, Ajax third,
that's it.
And Midtjylland fourth. Let's
and
go.
I'll let you follow up Tommy's prediction. Go for it.
Forza Atalanta. Let's go, baby. I think it's gonna be a nice battle for first place because Atalanta, we know what they're capable of now. We see how strong they are to start off this season. That clearly they're not a one season wonder team, and they're out for blood. Especially considering what happened last year too with the last minute breakdown against PSG. So it's going to be a nice matchup, bro. I think Atlanta's going to pull it off. They're definitely capable of doing so. And yeah, I think they're going to pull it off. They're very similar in teams. They're very attacking. They're very high-pressing teams, so it's going to be a very exciting game to watch.
Great points, definitely. I just feel that with the acquisition of Thiago in that Liverpool squad, with his experience and his quality, it's a no-brainer for me personally that Liverpool are going to finish first. Atalanta have the firepower, and they could easily slot in second there. Ajax lost a lot of their star players in the summer, so they might struggle a bit in getting through the group stage. Liverpool first, Atalanta second. George, Antonio, any comments?
I'm gonna say it's gonna go down to the wire for Ajax and Atalanta for that second spot. Liverpool are gonna lock it down with the first place, but I really think it's gonna go down to the wire and expect to have a really good game between Atalanta and Ajax. I just have this
feeling about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that Atalanta is gonna squash this group. I raved about them last week. I don't think. Listen, Liverpool have a squad, but they've been struggling, like we've realized the past couple of weeks. And obviously, like they're going to start turning it up eventually. But I just feel the consistency of Atalanta the past 2-3 seasons is just dominant. I don't think anybody has the power in this group to get by them. I mean, besides Liverpool, evidently. But I think out of 2 games, Atalanta is going to get 1 win from Liverpool, at least at the very minimum, if not 2. Yeah. So I have them finishing top of the group as well, with Liverpool finishing behind them and the other 2 teams, Ajax and Midtjylland, finishing far behind the rest of the pack.
George?
Just a comment about that. Don't forget that Atalanta barely made it through the group stages last year. I'm not saying that it's a factor, but it is something to look at. Yes, their form has been outstanding as of recent, but you never know.
It's just
Very good.
important.
Yeah,
It's important to note that they have made some important acquisitions themselves
Yeah.
in terms of depth, and I think that's going to really show this year, especially in Champions League. And that's why I'm confident in saying that they're going to finish strong in at least second place. I'll say. Ant?
But if correct me if I'm wrong though, because last year the group that Atalanta was in was actually a pretty tough group, if I'm not mistaken.
It was. It was.
Uh,
Chelsea was there. Ajax was there. I think so, right?
I'm trying to look
This
for it,
is-
but
No.
For Atalanta?
Yeah, they didn't play Chelsea.
No, Chelsea was
It was-
in Valencia's group.
Chelsea had Valencia, Ajax, and a French team.
And go for it if you have it in
Lille.
front of you.
yeah, I have it here. It was Man City, Shakhtar, and Dynamo Zagreb.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
And they had made it just at the end.
Yeah, but don't forget, it was their first time to Champions League. They never made it. And look, it was unusual territory, George. That's why I'm putting it by them. That last season was tough for them. They weren't used to the competition. So now that they're used to it, they were a couple minutes away from eliminating PSG. So I find this season they're going to be even stronger, and watch out for
They're
them.
going to learn from their mistakes, and hopefully they have an easier time, we'll say,
Yeah.
to get through the group stages this year. So let's move on. So Group E, we have Chelsea, FC Krasnodar, Stade Rennes, and Sevilla. George, we'll let you start with this one.
Yeah, tell them the story,
Antonio,
George. Tell them the story, bro.
Antonio,
Tell them what's up.
Antonio.
It's funny how the world works sometimes. Is that George, you boy?
It's funny how the world works.
So you want to tell them what's up? What happened between us?
So little backstory, behind the scenes, obviously we like to kind of shit talk and banter a bit between each other. And if for all you know, Antonio seems to be a pretty big fan of Sevilla, especially what Lopetegui has done to that team. Also, they're coming off a win with the Europa League, having a pretty good Super Cup also. And I was just like, bro, come on, man. Chelsea will smack Sevilla any day, no problem. And this is before the Champions League draw. So now that they're in the same group, this just got a bit spicier in between us. So
You're missing a fine detail of how this banter started, bro.
Tell
So it
me.
all started because I didn't know that Pulisic changed his number from 22 to 10. Remember?
Yes.
And I came up to you guys with the news like 3 weeks after the fact, and you guys, of course, right away, all start ripping into me.
Rip.
Fucking idiot! How did you not know he changed his number? Then I go to you, George, because you were the one. Obviously, you're a Chelsea boy, right? You got to defend your squad. I go after you. I'm like, bro, you didn't even know that Jesus Navas was playing right back the last couple of seasons. Shut the fuck up, bro. So it all started from there. We started going back and forth, and every time you mentioned Chelsea, I would just rip into you, bro. Sevilla would destroy you. Sevilla has Chelsea's number, especially the way they've been playing lately. Chelsea, They haven't been playing at the best. So every time they got a tie or a loss or something, or just like a shitty win result, I would always start ripping into you. And it's just funny how the world works, bro. Now you're gonna see, bro. Now you're gonna see the power and wrath of Sevilla, my friend.
Listen, I'm not taking anything away from Sevilla. It's just I'm gonna support my team as always, do or die. But we're gonna see, and I'm expecting a very good game out of that. And let the best team win. I do believe though that those two teams are gonna go through in the group though.
Okay.
Question mark.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now the placement, who knows who's gonna finish first? But I'm gonna go with Chelsea first and Sevilla second.
I think Sevilla is gonna destroy Chelsea both games, bro. That's what I have to say.
Okay.
Rakitic is gonna score a bullet from outside the box.
Antonio with the out here exaggerations. Tom,
You're
you
gonna
want to follow
see
up?
De Jong touch the ball 2 times in the whole game, and both those touches are gonna be headers into the back of the net.
Yeah. For me, I find Chelsea's going to win this group just because I'm waiting for Timo Werner to wake the hell up. And I know he's a big game player, And now when Champions League starts, we're going to see a different Timo than what we saw in the EPL. And we're waiting for Havertz to start gelling more with the team. Ziyech hasn't even played yet. Pulisic either. So I find when they're all healthy and they're all going at it, Chelsea's going to finish the group first. Sevilla second. Stade Rennais third. And Krasnodar fourth.
I do agree that when Chelsea are fully healthy, they can easily top this group, in my opinion. Pulisic is already on his way back. George, I don't know if you have any news on Ziyech, but
Ziyech is still injured. He has been training with the Moroccan national team, but it seems like he's like the same knee problem that he's been having. He was like bandaged up, so we don't know what the situation is with that. Doesn't seem to be too serious. I think he is slowly getting back to fitness, but a huge blow for Chelsea with Edouard Mendy, the newly signed goalkeeper, getting a thigh injury. Not even in a game, in training. So he came back to London maybe about a week ago or so, or a couple of days
About
now.
a week ago.
So we don't know the severity of the injury. Hopefully it's not too bad, because now I know what you're going to say, Antonio, because now we have to rely on Kepa, who hasn't been obviously the go-to guy. But I will say this about Kepa. When he did play internationally, they did play, Spain did play against Portugal, and he had to face up against Cristiano Ronaldo. And he's the only goalie to save, to keep a clean sheet from him. Just saying.
now, George, that's probably his only stat in his career that he has. So Antonio, I'll let you follow up.
Just a couple of things. One side note: it's Stade Rennes, not Rennais. Tommy.
Yeah.
Fucking-
Again, Tom,
Yeah,
you want to take that in your
I know.
notebook over there?
I know,
Take down the
relax,
notes.
man. Collis.
Put the accent aigus so you know next time.
And yeah, another thing in that game against Portugal is that they hit 3 posts against
Kepa?
Jesus. Portugal hit 3 posts against Spain, so we got very lucky in that game.
Ant, did
That's
you want
it.
to comment?
No, I have nothing else to add. I think it's going to be a battle between Chelsea and Sevilla. Sevilla has pretty much the same, more or less the same team, right? So they all know each other. Rakitic added on. So it's, unless Chelsea get their shit together and they start getting in form and everyone stays healthy, like you guys mentioned, because Pulisic is remarkable.
Yep.
Ziyech is going to be very important as well. So we'll wait and see.
And I was
Timo
just gonna
Werner.
add to that I was reading a couple of articles about Chelsea, and everyone seems to believe that Pulisic, even after all of these acquisitions, is their MVP, and that the second he touches the pitch, you're gonna see the newly reformed Chelsea with all of these stars just kind of following his lead. So I can't wait to see what a healthy Chelsea looks like this year. I did want to say that Sevilla will finish second, I believe, but Stade Rennes can really give them a run for their money for that second spot. I think with Eduardo Camavinga coming into his own and really establishing a spot as one of the best young players out right now, he might be able to lead them to that spot. But I think Sevilla might squeeze it out. So we'll see how that group ends up. So Group F. So we have Borussia Dortmund, Club Brugge, Lazio, and Zenit. Tonio, go for it.
Yeah, man. For me, it's going to be Dortmund, top of the group, no question about it. We saw how powerful and how strong Lazio were at last season, but time in and time out, we said it towards the end of the season. They were pretty weak, pretty inconsistent, and it's showing at the beginning of this season as well with poor results. So I have them passing into the round of 16, but just behind Dortmund in second. As for the other 2 groups, it's a toss-up for me.
Yeah.
But Borussia Dortmund, they have the talent, they have the squad depth. I think they have too much over a team like Lazio. So, yeah, they're going to be not dominant, but I think they're going to get the necessary wins in order to become first in this group.
Tommy?
Yeah. I find Dortmund's going to finish first in the group. Lazio second. Zenit third. Club Brugge fourth. I'm not too worried about Borussia Dortmund in the group stages. I find they're gonna get through, not dominant like Antonio said, but they're gonna get through. What worries me is after the group stages with Dortmund. That's when the big question mark comes in because we know that their defense and their goaltending is very weak compared to their attacking force. So I find they're gonna get by in the group stages, but afterwards, massive question mark.
Yeah, I agree. I think in terms of the group stages, Dortmund with Sancho and Haaland just being an unstoppable duo, especially against these other teams, I don't see any of them stopping them. So Dortmund finishing first for me, and I think Lazio have enough firepower with Immobile leading them to be able to finish second there. George?
Yes, sir.
Nothing more to add. Like you said, I think Haaland, he's the type of player who likes these big games. He likes to show up on the big stage, like in Champions League, just like he did last year and the year before. So yeah, for me, it's a toss up between Lazio and Dortmund. Dortmund having more squad depth than Lazio, but Lazio having more of a gelled team because there are like new faces with Dortmund, and we have seen inconsistencies also in the back line. So we're gonna see.
That's a good point. Ant, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I think just on town alone, I think Dortmund's going to pull it off and finish first. Lazio, I find, from what I've been seeing in the latter half of last season and beginning of this season, that they're very, very reliant on Ciro Immobile to perform, which shouldn't be the case. Like I mentioned to you guys last year about Juve having to rely on Ronaldo for everything. So they're going to struggle within battling against Dortmund, but I don't think they're going to have a problem against Zenit or Bruges. Zenit, too, is not too much of a pushover team. They have to maintain their focus against them. They, I just read that they had Stefan Radul, one of their fullbacks, one of their experienced fullbacks, was injured from a thigh injury, so he might miss the next 4 games. So that might be a good kick in the ass for them. But if they maintain their focus and they, like George said, they have the chemistry, so they should definitely be able to pull second at least.
Well said. Let's move on. Group G. Barcelona, Dynamo Kiev, Ferenc. I'm not going to say that one because it's not important enough. And Juventus. So, Antonio, I'll let you take over.
Boys, we finally get it again towards the end of both of their careers. Ronaldo, Messi, battle it out minimum twice this season. I can't tell you how excited I am. I can't give you a prediction because it's going to be a very biased prediction. Obviously, I have Barcelona finishing top of the group with Juventus behind them, but I don't think my prediction should count so much because it is a very biased one. All I want to say is that I'm very excited to see when Barcelona and Juve come face to face, head to head, how it's going to play out. I just also want to say that I wish there were fans in the stands because this would be insane. A lot of people are going to be missing out on these two players. Like I mentioned before, it is towards the end of both of their careers. So we've got limited time to see something like this happen again. So just soak it all in, enjoy the match. This is one to watch for sure, man. Mark it down in your calendars.
Anthony?
100%, bro. Like we all thought that we weren't going to see Messi and Ronaldo face each other again, but we're gonna have nice 2 matches where we'll be able to see them battle it out. Like I said, also I don't mind whether Juve finishes first or second, as long as they finish second at least. It's with how fragile that backend has been. It's important for us to have the lid back because that back three against Messi and the rest of the forwards is gonna be a fun time for Juve. So I'm very excited for that.
Hopefully we could see Messi run in these 2 matches a bit, you know?
Yeah, fucking,
I think he will. I think he will, bro.
He's going to fucking make Danilo his puppet, bro. Fuck.
And I think it's
Fati too is going to make Danilo too.
I think it's important to kind of back up what you're saying there, Ant. And what I'll say is that I think Barcelona are gonna finish first, just because of the fact that you might see Juventus slip up a bit because they're still learning a bit of the tactic system that Pirlo wants to implement. And he's playing a couple of young guys too in important positions like a left wing back, like I was seeing last time. So I feel like that you might start seeing them drop points a bit in the group stage. We've seen that before with a couple of draws in the past. But I still think they obviously have the quality enough to go through compared to the other two teams. And they have Cristiano Ronaldo, who's one of the biggest tournament player that I've ever seen. So Barcelona first, Juventus second for me. George?
Like the rest of you guys said, it's a toss up between Barca and Juventus. The way I'm seeing it is that both coaches have new jobs, both have a lot to prove. Obviously, maybe Pirlo has a bit more of a mountain to climb than Koeman because Koeman does have experience. But I feel like both teams are in similar situations where they have their gigantic clubs and they have so much to prove. And with the new coaches too, they have a lot to prove also. Defensively for both teams also, because we know that both teams they have they love going forward, they love scoring goals with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Dybala, Kulusevski, and co. And then you have Barcelona, you have Messi, Griezmann, Ansu Fati. So it's definitely gonna be a good matchup. I definitely think defense is gonna be an issue for both teams.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Barcelona has
And
Griezmann playing right back, so don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah.
And keep in mind too, it's going to be a little low key Pjanic against Arthur if Pjanic gets the playing time too. So it'd be nice to watch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Tom, did you want to say anything before we head off?
Yeah. So I have Barcelona finishing first, just because I have a feeling when Dembele comes back from injury, how they're going to slot him in. I find he has something to prove because of all these speculations of the teams wanting to go after him, the fans talking down at him. I find he's going to have something to prove when he gets put into the lineup.
Dembele isn't injured.
Hmm?
He's fine. Dembele isn't
I said
injured.
to put him into the starting lineup to solidify his spot. That's what I meant. I know he's back.
My bad.
And also when the Champions League group stages start, I find they're going to have Ter Stegen back because he's scheduled to come back in November. Just having him back in nets is insane. So I have Barcelona first, Juventus second.
Very nice. We're gonna end off the episode with Group H, the last group. Istanbul, Basaksehir. Don't laugh, Antonio. Manchester United, PSG, and RB Leipzig. So this one is, I think, per group of death, just for the fact that when it comes to Manchester United and RB Leipzig, that's where I get mixed up a bit because I don't know who can actually finish second here. I have PSG finishing first. They have the talent. They have Mbappe and Neymar leading them. For me, it's a no-brainer to put them first. It's the fact that Leipzig, when they get Sabitzer back, who proved what he can do in the Champions League last year, it's too tough for me to say if they can actually squeeze out United. United, we've seen them, sometimes they can be really strong on the pitch, but sometimes they can be very weak in the back.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes
maybe really shit. So with Lindelof and Maguire, I'm not confident in United finishing second there. So I think I'm going to say PSG first and RB Leipzig squeezing past United for second place. Tom, did you want to say something?
Yeah. So I have PSG finishing first, Leipzig second, and third United, and then fourth Istanbul. I find Manchester United, just that back line and the goaltending situation is not enough to get by PSG and Leipzig in the group stages. But a fun thing that's going to be playing out in this group is we're going to see Cavani versus PSG. I'm curious to see how hungry he's going to be, how he's going to perform against his former club. So that's going to be a fun game. But I have Man United finishing third. And yeah.
Tonio?
Honestly, I think, Alex, you said it perfectly. I have no idea who's going to finish second between United and Leipzig. They're both pretty equal. I'll give the upper hand to Leipzig, though, just because of United's inconsistencies. I think United is going to drop down to the Europa League after this group stage. And PSG might go undefeated in this group. I think if they stay concentrated, they have the talent that is necessary to go top of the group. Don't forget they were finalists last year. got beat out by Bayern, only 1 goal against them, you know. So Neymar and Mbappe, baby.
George?
Simple as that.
I couldn't agree more with the rest of you guys. It's going to be a battle for second place with Leipzig and United. I don't want to take a dig at United, but
you will.
They need to get their shit straight, and they got to get it straight fast, because if they want to be anywhere or go anywhere, they gotta fix that back line, fix everything. Now it's a matter of, will Leipzig come over them? We've seen it before. Yes, of course, we've mentioned before that they don't have Timo Werner anymore, but it doesn't seem to be a huge problem. So we'll see.
You're going to see if Leipzig comes all over them, bro.
Yeah, George. Yeah, bit my tongue on that one.
I couldn't resist myself. Yeah, at least I didn't cut you off this time, bro.
You know what I mean.
No, I agree with you guys. It's going to be a battle for second place. I mean, with the acquisitions of Telles and Cavani, I think that's going to help them out a lot, to be honest. Cavani knows how to score, obviously. So he might be the X factor for them pulling off second place. And also, this is very important for United too, because I saw a report today from Sky Sports saying that reports suggest that Ed Woodward will have no hesitation firing Ole if Manchester United season continues to implode. So I think if they do not make the group stage, I think the eyes are going to be on him. That's for sure, man.
That's a good point to bring up, because I did read a couple of articles as well, as Pochettino is available, and that's always, I think, lingering in the background, that with teams like United and City, who are kind of struggling a bit sometimes, there's always that idea that they can sack their manager for Poch. So I know Tommy didn't like hearing that at all.
Oh, shit.
You don't think so, Tom?
No.
Yeah.
If he does take a managing job again, which he will, I think it's going to be out of the EPL. I've always had this prediction ever since he got sacked by us. I don't think he comes back to the EPL.
Now,
what land are you living in, bro?
If he had left on his own terms from Tottenham, I would have agreed with you. But the fact that he got sacked by Tottenham, I feel like he has a,
Yeah, but there's no ill will. He still comes and trains at the training ground with us every month with the team. I'm just saying for me. But yeah.
I don't know. Antonio, did you want to say something?
All I have to say, bro, is if he didn't take a job that was available, because there were so many available outside of the EPL, he would have done it already. I think he really wants a top 6 club in the EPL to manage again.
Yeah.
And I think that if Ole does shit the bed, or continue to shit the bed, that he's going to sign those papers, bro, no matter how much you like it or hate it. Look at Jose Mourinho.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's
Never
a different
would have.
Man U,
How's that
Chelsea,
different?
and Tottenham.
breed. That's a
How's
different
that
breed.
different?
Because you know how Mourinho is. He says he's like, yeah, you said that you're never gonna manage Tottenham or another team other than Chelsea. He's like, yeah, that was before I got sacked.
But
That's when he manages
that's
to have.
the
That's
point.
what Alex is trying to say.
That's the point I'm trying to
Yeah,
make,
but
though.
Pochettino is not like Mourinho. He's not cold-blooded when it comes to this shit.
Okay, he's using his Tottenham arguments again, bro.
Forget it. George,
Listen,
did you want to say something?
listen. I'm just gonna say this. If it does happen, if they do sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and if they do sign Pochettino, there is no chance that Pochettino is gonna sign without financial backing.
That's a good point too, because that's something that he was struggling with at Tottenham. Great point, because we've all seen United and their struggles to be able to support financially the managers. They did make the 2 last signings in Cavani and Alex Telles, but those were panic buys, and I think you can make arguments for that as well.
No, 100%. It's just the way the board does things. They've been linked to Jadon Sancho since the beginning of fucking time, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So if Pochettino does end up going to Manchester United, it has to be a project that the board and Pochettino are both on the same page.
Agreed.
Just kind of like what Tottenham and Mourinho are doing. There was no chance Mourinho was going to come to Tottenham without financial backing and without a serious plan to work together. and to win trophies as a manager and a team. No separation between the board and the managers. And I don't think. Listen, it's tough to say because who's to say that Manchester United are going to change and say, oh, this time it's going to be this time. He's the guy to bring the trophies. They said that about almost all of the managers that
came after Ferguson. Yeah.
After Ferguson, and especially now with Ole too. He's a part of the club. He's played with the club. He knows the club very well. This and that. So you would think that a player like that, a manager like that, would get the financial backing, but it hasn't been the case. So we're gonna see.
Well said. Did anybody else want to follow up with that before we end off the episode? No? Okay, perfect.
Gucci gang.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang. So thank you everybody for listening to the Champions League segment. When you have a chance, please subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Insta, and Facebook at 5-1 Information. Thank you for listening as always, and have a good one, guys. Ciao.
Happy Thanksgiving.